to SMU's credit, good teams also win different games differently. You can win a shootout, you can win a rock fight. If you get stuck having to pass your way through the game versus run, you can kind of win that way too. Welcome to Saturday versus Sunday. I'm John Barbin. With me is Jeff Dover, and let's talk football.
We're a couple of average football fans that watch college, the NFL. We hope to earn your like and subscribe today. This is our review of the Miami SMU game. What are your initial thoughts?
Miami's doing the Miami thing.
God, they so do, eh? Every time they find a way. They find a way to be Miami, to have a disappointing loss. This happened last year. It happened again. The Crystal Ball's record when they're like 10-point favorites is terrible. Like he loses more than he wins. It's really bad.
I don't know what it is. I was watching the Cover 3 reaction, and Fernelli's like, "That's it. I've been burned by Miami too many times. I'm never gonna believe in Miami ever again." It's funny. He's like, they could be 75-0, and I'll still believe they're gonna lose the next game because they just keep doing it with what should be the better team.
Yes,
and just now that's two this year. They've dropped Louisville and now SMU, and it's really Carson Beck. Holy smokes with the interceptions.
It's really critical. Like the penalties are a common theme with Miami about ruining stuff at a terrible, terrible time for specific penalties. And same with Carson Beck, terrible timing for intercept. There's never a good time for an interception. Interception's always going to be a big key of the game. But if I told you that going into this game, Miami will hold SMU to 23 yards rushing.
And 25 of those yards they had net negative 2 yards for the game.
That's crazy.
They had 25 net negative 2 for the regular time, 25 yards rushing in overtime.
Oh my God!
So they had no rushing yards net, no rushing yards for the regular time.
What's crazy about this? Watching this as like a fan, I didn't think SMU's rushing was that bad. Like I didn't realize that until I saw the box score, and I'm like, oh man, they hardly ran for everything because in overtime, as soon as they intercept the Miami, and you're like, okay, SMU just needs a field goal to win. So they're going to run it. They're going to run the ball. Just like it could be just 3 and out, just because, and get it in the middle of the field because you want the field goal. And knowing that they're going to run, they just kept running, and then they scored a touchdown, which is ridiculous. Like that should not happen.
Yeah, it's the only time of the game where the run worked.
Yes. How does that happen? I don't
know. It's good for SMU. I mean, there's that. So far they've only lost one ACC game in their time in the ACC.
I know that's nuts. And listen,
and it's kind of a crazy one. It
is. No, and Jennings is legit. Like that was he threw for 365 yards, had a touchdown, no interception. He outplayed Carson Beck, which I don't know if you thought going in this game like that would have been the case, but he was terrific, and it was like and even though like it's really hard to win when you're one dimensional, but when you win the turnover battle and you've got a elite talent at QB, then like you can make stuff happen.
He's on a hobbled. He hasn't been right for a while now.
Yes.
And his foot, whatever that injury is, keeps getting re-injured. Same thing in the Clemson game, and he just guts it out. First of all, he has a rocket for an arm. When he can run, he's a dynamic runner. Right now, I don't think he's obviously not running a lot, but he's one of the best running dual threat quarterbacks. And his ability to throw on the run, it's outstanding. He's just outstanding throwing on the run
and changing his arm angle. He's done that several times too. They were not, obviously they couldn't run the ball. Their offensive line wasn't very good for this game, and he's had to scramble and alter his arm angle, like just to get stuff done. And he was still able to be really effective with that, which is really saying something.
And he had a couple. Now his receivers could have picked him up in a few cases. Maybe sometimes he puts too much mustard on the ball on a throw that could be a little more catchable. But come on, you're a Division I receiver. You better be able to catch whatever he's throwing at you if you think you're ever going to the next level. But with take it for what it's worth. He threw for 365, no intercept. I mean, this guy is good. This guy is really, really good. And you're right, he was the better quarterback on that field.
Yeah.
And now Beck's first interception was tipped and then immediately SMU scores on the next play, right?
Yes.
And then, but then, I mean, the obvious one is the pick in overtime, right on the goal line.
It's the one thing you can't do, right? You can't turn it over in overtime just because then the other team knows they just have to get a field goal. Like you just can't do it. And this is the bad part of Carson Beck. Like he did this a little bit at Georgia. There's some like critical interceptions or turnovers at some points. And if you're a Miami fan, it's just so hard that a senior QB is like turning it over like in overtime like that is just really rough.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the announcers were saying it could have been Tony cutting his route up into instead of cutting it straight across. But either way, the defender undercut the route.
Was right there.
Beck was double clutching, triple clutching, wasn't sure where to go with the ball. He had time, but when you watch the replay, when you see a quarterback double clutch, triple clutch, and he's kind of has happy feet a little bit, that's when you start getting worried. Oh no, don't let this ball go. Don't throw this.
Yeah.
Like it's not like he planted his foot, saw the guy, oh, I got it. And you could tell like, oh, this might not go well. And then it didn't go well at all. And that I mean, obviously that was the difference in the game. So as ugly of a game as this was for SMU, as far as like not having any rushing yards, that, I mean, and Miami with the ridiculous number of penalties and not being able to capitalize, we're in overtime and he just blows it. He just blows it. Like, well, I don't know.
Yeah. And that was another thing. What put him in position, the SMU, to get the field goal at the end was there was a time where they blew the play dead. And then the Miami player just clocked Jennings. And so it was roughing and then so that's enough 15 yards. You get to keep going like that. And when your defense is that good, or you're holding the other team to basically no rushing yards, then the only way they can continue the drive is if you shoot yourself in the foot. And and that happens. It's Cristobal teams. Like they do that often.
Yeah. And you could see him on the sideline just pointing. He's like, think.
Yeah.
Now, okay. So you could say he didn't really hit him that. I mean, he hit him, but it's okay. He didn't hit him that hard, but it was so clear and everyone was just standing around.
Yes.
And the announcers brought up a good point. Well, what if he didn't hear the whistle? And the announcer's like, yeah, but all the other Miami players stopped.
He was the only one still going. Yeah, right. He was the only one going. So
and okay, so I think it's nonsense. And in 20 years ago in college and the NFL, that's just nothing, right? But you've got to know that now, the landscape now, that's getting called. It's just going to get called. If the whistle's blowing, everyone's standing around, and you even just shove them, you're likely getting called. So just take that, don't give the refs an opportunity to call that is the way you have to see that. And because there was another Miami defensive player on his way in there too. And he pulled up. So it's just, you just can't give the refs a reason to throw the flag on anything to do with roughing the passer, because they're going to throw it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And just the last thing about Beck, like this year, he's completed 72% of his passes, which is amazing. He has almost 2,000 yards. He's got 14 TDs and 9 interceptions. Like that is not a good ratio for your senior year and, trying to really win it all with your transfer to Miami, like, which is really surprising.
And in the other loss to Louisville, he threw 4 picks.
No.
So he's the worst of Beck is starting to show up again. Remember last year, he was just Jekyll and Hyde, and he would do that. He would do that in the same game. He'd have a half where he looked horrendous and a half where he looked like the Heisman Trophy winner. So, but okay. So moving on to a couple other key notes I had here, in the middle, I don't know, 8, winning the last, so that you're big on the middle 8. So SMU's punting from their own end zone. There's 50 seconds left, maybe in the second quarter. And Tony returns it to the 9-yard line. And on 3rd and goal at that moment, there's like 15 seconds left. Beck throws a pass to Elijah Lofton. It looks like he has a TD. And then linebacker, got to get his name right, Brandon Mayazono. That hit, he just smokes him. Smokes Lofton, pops the ball out, and they have to settle for a field goal. And that's a big, given that this game came down to a field goal, that's a massive, massive turning point. And another time, including in overtime, where they don't get it done right on the goal line. And I mean, he hit him so hard. Lofton was like took him a while to get up after that hit. It was such a good hit, but that's just a huge change right there at halftime. Instead of it going up by, and he had it in the end zone,
Yeah,
and he knocks it out. So that's a 4-point play right there.
Yeah, no, and it's a 4-point play. The Miami just gets a field goal, and then to start the third quarter, SMU comes down and gets a touchdown. Like it's the first thing that happens, and that also happened near the end of the third quarter. Is that Miami went for it on fourth downs, didn't get it, then SMU scores right after that, gets a field goal right after that. So it's just capitalizing on mistakes, which is what a good team does, right? And that's how SMU was able to be successful today.
And then one other time where. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from SMU. They played a great game, but Miami also, with the penalties, it's just an example of them getting in their own way. First of all, that roughing the passer, a dead ball foul, and that was 4th and 9, maybe something like that. So okay, great. Okay, to be fair, we don't know if that was going to be the end of the game, but holy smokes, 4th and 9's hard to convert.
Yes, yeah.
So,
no, and it's you can't give them another chance. Like you can't give them like extra downs, which is what they did. Those are the interceptions, the timing them were so bad, and the penalties were critical.
And here's an example of how bad those penalties were. So on, I guess it's their second last drive of the game, Miami has the ball with less than 3 minutes left. They're up 20-17. So they can ice the game right here.
Yeah.
They take 3 penalties on that drive. And it's an illegal man downfield on what should have been a long completion and totally solidify them in at least field goal range, if not a decent chance at a touchdown. Then they take a false start, which pushes them further back. Then they take a holding penalty, all on that drive, which just shoves them completely out of any chance to score. And that's the difference between them either going up by a touchdown or even another field goal to make it 23-17, which forces then SMU to have to score a touchdown. That's just them going straight backwards in 3 penalties on one drive. At the end of the fourth quarter, you take 3 penalties on one drive.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
No, you can't do that. And over the course of the game, Miami had like 50 more yards on offense, give or take, than SMU. And they had 50 more yards and penalties too. So that's like a football field. It's 100 yards is an entire football field, and you lost by 1 possession. So that's an absolute killer. And
so in our and we covered the Texas Tech game. Go check that out if you haven't. We talk about teams that the best teams get stronger at the end of the game. Miami didn't do that. Miami started making just critical mistakes at the end of the game. And I mean, let's talk about the end. We're talking the last few seconds of the game. They're making just critical mistakes. That's just not what the best teams do. Teams that are going to go compete at the end don't do that. They get stronger as the game goes on. And this is not what Miami's doing. So I'm on board with Fornelli where there's talent all over that team, and somehow, I don't even want to say it's Cristobal's clock management, really. It's somewhere in there. What do they say? You're either coaching it, you're allowing it to happen. The penalties and the stupid penalties at the wrong time of the game. It's just still happening on this team. So I don't have any faith in them anymore.
No, I know. And it's like it was disappointing last year when because they were control their own destiny, and they're on their way to the ACC championship game. And like now they need help again, like this year, like to get in, which is,
Okay, so that's enough about Miami. We got to give SMU their flowers here. So they're 4-1 in the ACC. Now they have the tiebreak over Miami if somehow it ends up in a tiebreak situation. Georgia Tech just lost. So everything's in front of SMU. I don't think they can still make the ACC championship game, and whoever wins the ACC is likely has to go to the playoffs. So I'm pretty sure their future is all right in front of them. I mean,
there's a lot of teams with 1 loss. Like Georgia Tech has 1 loss, Pittsburgh's 1 loss, Louisville has 1 loss. Like
right, but oddly, their 1 loss is to Wake Forest. That won't affect them in a tiebreak situation.
Right, but they don't play Georgia Tech or Pittsburgh like on the ahead of them, but they do play Louisville. So that's going to be a really big game for SMU.
I see what you mean. Right.
Yeah, and they get them at home, so that'll be really good too. So that's one we're going to?
Yes, we're going to
Yeah.
SMU. We're going to be at in Dallas for SMU Louisville, which is now
Yeah.
turning out to be an enormous game.
In the
So
ACC.
yeah, and so let's see what the front runner the Virginia Cavaliers, the who's the front runners. They've got what, Wake Forest, Duke, and Virginia Tech. I think they can win all three of those games. Duke's probably
Absolutely.
going to be the toughest there for sure.
Yes, Duke's also 4-1 in the ACC, so technically controls their own destiny too for that, because if they beat them, they would have the tiebreaker. But yep, really big.
All right,
No
so
one
we
had
don't-
Virginia
it's-
winning the ACC at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, it's too complicated now. Now this is the ACC doing their best impression of the Big 12 here. Well, you know what?
Yes.
This is kind of like the ACC. Now that Clemson's just not a factor,
hmm
this is all over them. Who would have thought? Where are we? Week 9 or 10 here. Who would have thought that FSU's on the outside look? Well, FSU's just out.
Yeah.
Clemson's just out, and
Yeah.
now Miami's heavily on the outside looking in here, and likely
Yes.
they're likely out now too.
Yeah, yeah, because with 2 losses, it's going to be almost like you'd need
Yeah,
so
it's
much help.
chaos.
Like, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams ahead of them. So like a lot of them play each other. So like that'd be hard to,
and one of them is still no conference losses. So
yeah,
they're basically out. Your three, what
Yes.
you thought were your 3 front runners now are completely, they're just non-factors. And you know,
it's crazy to think that we could have a Pitt Virginia ACC championship.
I was just
game.
about to say, you know, who's coming on strong is
Yes,
Pitt.
yes,
That team is legit. Like
It
that team
is.
is, and that quarterback. I don't think it's an injury related thing. I think he got the start. Heinkel, I think he got the start just because Holstein just wasn't doing it.
Mhm.
And Heinzel's another one of these, like, oh Jesus, our backup's better than our starter. Like we didn't know that until he got the field. So there's a few teams that we've discovered this. And now I don't want to say Hammond at Texas Tech is better, but he's just as good. So they're too deep. And here I think Heinzel's actually the better player. So
Yeah, freshman that playing too. So yeah,
so there's
really,
some
really
beauty.
good.
There's some beauties around the league. He's one of those freshmen that I think in the next 4 years is going to be a high draft pick. If this is his starting point, and we assume you're going to improve,
Hopefully,
year over year, this is an amazing starting point for the kid. Saga Politelli at Cal is like that. And Drake Lindsay at Minnesota, another freshman who, if he sticks around and develops for 4 years, those are 3 that people probably just didn't think about. That all 3 of those, I think, are going to be studs in the next 3 or 4 years.
I hope so. I mean, it's sticking around. That's you're saying a lot now in the 2025.
So maybe by then
football.
the Jets and the Cleveland Browns will be able to pick one of these guys, because there's all going on those 2 teams.
Yeah.
So I mean, what else can we say here? We got to give SMU some more props here. I guess they need to hold serve.
And Jennings
rest
is a
of the
legit
season.
talent, right? It's a real compliment because we always say you can't win games if you're one dimensional, and you have to be balanced, right? But he made it happen like that. Like Miami's defense was not, SMU couldn't run the ball, and he had to do the whole thing in the air. Miami knew he had to do the whole thing in the air. That makes it really tough in terms of blitzing and pressuring, but he got it done. So like that's a really, he's a very talented quarterback.
Is he in your top 5 guys you just want to have the ball at the end of the game?
Oh, good question. Probably.
I mean, this
like
is a crazy situation where you have 0 run game and you still make it happen.
Yeah. No,
Like
it's really against a good team. Like it's really impressive what he did. It's 44 pass attempts. Like no one wants that going into this game, but 29 for 44 with a TD and no interceptions in this type of game is really good.
You're supposed to lose when the other team has 274 yards passing and 159 yards rushing, and you have 23 yards rushing, which all of them come in overtime. Like you shouldn't win that game.
No.
Now, obviously he went for 365, but we see this box score all the time.
Yeah.
And when you're forced to throw 44 times, you usually lose that game. But man, he's something else. Now I hope he can get healthy, or I don't know. I don't know enough about that injury to know if this is just sort of, he's never going to have enough time off for it to truly heal, probably. So this is just what he's going to be, right? For the rest of the season.
But if this is him injured, that's pretty good. I'll take that.
Does he have another year of eligibility? He's another one who should stick around for one more year, but I'm sure
he's a junior right now.
He should stick for one more year, but I'm sure his stock just keeps rising and rising and rising. And it's just, Does he not get enough national attention? Maybe.
No, he doesn't.
Like we've been all over him since last year. I thought they were one of the best teams to watch last year for sure.
Yes.
And a lot of it had to do with him. And that offense, just when their game earlier this year against Baylor, that's just fireworks all over the place.
Yeah.
But yeah, he can do that. I don't know if Beck can quite do that.
No, I don't
like
think
the way
so.
he does it.
No, no, Jennings is really good. He needs some help running the ball. Let us know. I mean, I don't know if they've had any running backs injured. Let us know in the comments if someone was injured or if someone
Harden's their guy though. He was in that game. That's their number one rusher.
That's what I thought. So
no,
it was
he is. He is.
it's the, you know, but like if they can run the ball a bit better, this team would be like really good.
Well, and you could also say this is Miami's defense is for real.
It is.
Like it's like Mr. Garvey, right? It's been teaching in the inner city for 20 years. Like it's for real. So, and those Bain and that line, it was there and it was causing all kinds of trouble. And this could also, from an SMU standpoint, you could view it as, okay, so we're up against one of the best defensive lines in the country. And this is just how you have to win this particular game. It's naive to think we're going to run over them, maybe. And if they turned us one-dimensional, fine, we'll beat you one-dimensional, and they beat them one-dimensional. So, so to SMU's credit, good teams also win different games differently. You can win a shootout, you can win a rock fight. If you get stuck having to pass your way through the game versus run, you can kind of win that way too. And they've done that. So what do we say? Winning's a skill. SMU clearly has that built into them. Like from last year to this year, especially within their conference, with only one conference loss in 2 years.
No, and this was SMU has been bad for a long time. Like they had for those young viewers, like they had the death penalty at one point, so the football program was taken away, and so they never really recovered from that. But because this was their first top 10 win at home in forever, and so that's the really big win for Lashley and SMU.
And they just extended Lashley. So since all of these teams, LSU's program have fired their head coach in Florida and Penn State and all of these places,
LSU,
like all of a sudden Kirk Cignetti gets an extension. Now Lashley, like all the coaches they're going to go after all got extensions because, I mean, Lashley. So the thing is, those guys are all off of the Saban coaching tree. Like they've all been coaches in a national championship winning program. So they have it in them. They've seen it. They know what it's all about. They know what it's like to go all the way to the end. And it's like each one of them, nope, we're keeping them. We're extending our guy. We're extending our guy. So I don't know, all of the big names, Lashley being one of them, that was on the docket, they're all getting protected. Cignetti, they gave him a huge, so it's, and I'm glad he's one of our marriages coach and team that I think should stay. Lashley should stay there. The whole thing's working. Why would you don't leave? And I'm glad he accepted the extension. So that's another thing that's happening here. It's kind of they get the big win. Oh, this is Miami's first game outside of Miami all year. Yeah,
Florida, right? Outside the state of Florida.
Sorry, not the city. Yeah, sorry, outside the state of Florida.
Yeah.
But good for SMU. It's kind of they get the big top 10 win. The coach just secures another extension to his contract. Like that's a good feeling. That's a good feeling for SMU. That's obviously going to be good for recruiting too. It just shows some stability. So
yeah.
I don't know. You got anything else on your notes?
No, that's it for me.
Yeah, that's all I got here too. So big win for SMU. It's going to be some chaos here at the end with the ACC. Now, do you think the ACC this year could actually not get 2 teams in?
I mean, it depends on if it'd be, let's see,
how it shakes out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that obviously it's but it's the person with the team that if Virginia can go undefeated and the other team only has 1 loss. So right now that would be Georgia Tech. Like I think that would be their best chance of going in but that would mean Georgia Tech has beat Georgia, right? Like at the end of the season. So that's the kind of thing that would have to happen, I think, in order to get 2 of them in.
Highly improbable.
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see.
And as far as SMU goes, it's still there. They need a few things to work out. They obviously have to hold serve. That
Mhm.
it's just imperative they win their next 3 games. They have to.
Mhm.
But on top of that, they probably need a little bit of chaos in front of them to make the ACC championship game.
I
But
guess
they're not out of it.
no, I guess Pitt is possible too. Pitt's got all of a sudden a giant game against Notre Dame coming up, and then Georgia Tech, and then Miami. So it's all in front of Pitt too. In terms of if they win those, that would be huge. So
Yeah. So this is they're doing their Big 12 thing here. I think there's just going to be complete chaos in the next 3 weeks here. It's just
yeah,
there's way too many combinations to really figure this out.
right.
All right. Well, big win for SMU. Good for SMU. All right. Well, if you're still with us, we appreciate you checking out the channel. We know it's small. We just started it last year. So if you like what we got going on and you'd like to support us, a like and a subscribe goes a long way, and we'd super appreciate it. So for Jeff Dover, I'm John Barbin, and that's your Saturday versus Sunday podcast.